one that really stands out, I think the most significant prayer moment in my life so far is back in uni. I was in my late teens or maybe 20, and I didn't have lectures one morning, and I just decided to stay to pray. I think I started about 8 o'clock. And by the time I finished, it was 4:30 p.m. My bed was soaked with sweat. Lagos is where I was, so it's very hot country, but nevertheless, it was just an intense moment of prayer. So I remember starting just worshiping, praying in tongues, worshiping God. And then later I had this amazing experience. I don't think I would call it a vision, but I found myself in a hot place that looked like a pit. The way I can explain it is hell. I felt I was in hell. But I wasn't there being tormented. I was holding a sword in my hand, and there were people there with chains and crying and wailing. And I took this sword and I was just shattering the chains, just breaking them. And for hours on end, that was what I did. And by the time I opened my eyes, Andy, it was about 4:30 p.m. I can never forget that experience. So if somebody told me that, prayer doesn't work or is not real, I'll remember that and say, no. I was caught up into a place by the Spirit, and I did this. Up until now, I don't know what that means. Maybe God will still reveal to me somehow who I was delivering, but I know it was spiritual warfare. God was using me to break some chains in some people's lives where I don't know, but that experience has stayed with me and is so powerful. And I ask God for moments like that again. And I've had a few, but that one stands out for me.
Such a perfect example to illustrate that prayer is so much more than simply, it's not less than, but it's more than simply asking that your mortgage will be approved or something. And did it work?
Yeah.
Is the wrong question, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's so true, because we've learned to use prayer as a mechanism for request, and that's part of what it is. But it's more than that. It's a relationship. Within a relationship, you can give, you can receive, you can be glad, you can cry, you can rejoice, and you can mourn. So prayer is all of that together. And I'm seeing more that we should come out of this idea that I've got things on my mind I want to say to God, and come with this idea that God got things on his heart he wants to say to me. And it is in the moment of prayer that we get that. If there's the biggest lesson I want to pass across, I think that's what I've learned, that there are things on God's mind he wants to pass across. And except you have that moment where you close the door and you're just on your own and you say, Father, let's have a conversation, but I don't want to come and pour my request on you. What's on your heart? What do you want me to do? I think that's the moment where we begin to enter into some sort of prophetic things that God has in store for the ages to come. That's the place of revelation. That's the place of power. That's the place where God shows us things that are fascinating, and that's where we grow as well.